Hide your dog. Hide your goat. Hide all animals. It's Kristi Noem.
We should appreciate about Kristi Noem and be grateful to Kristi Noem for is she's the person 9 years into this insanity and madness who finally set the floor. There is no more search for the great mystery of where the floor is in the MAGA era. This is it. You cannot shoot the puppy, but you can burn down the country. 179 days remain until the presidential election in the United States that will set the tone for the balance of the 21st century. The question at hand is America or Trump? The choice is President Biden and the accused felon sitting in a Manhattan courtroom being shamed by a porn star. This is the warning. It is May the 10th, 2024. Everywhere you look these days, it seems that there are unanswered questions. Some are age-old. Who built the pyramids and why? What is the meaning of the statues on Easter Island? And what are all of those unidentified flying objects that we keep seeing on our screens from the cockpits of commercial airliners or Navy vessels? The good news, though, here in May of 2024, a question has finally been answered that has perplexed millions of Americans. And that question is, what is the limit? What is the line? Where is the boundary between right and wrong, decency and indecency at Fox News? What could ever get the seditious gang on 6th Avenue in New York rallied around the cause of decency? What would it take to throw one of their own under the bus? What would it take for a MAGA princess to be treated like Prince Harry in London? Let's watch what happens when a MAGA princess shoots her dog in the United States. Correction, 14-month-old puppy.
What she's done is she's sabotaged herself, whether or not it was to, buttress what was coming down the road. But she also managed to unite the right and the left. Because America, if nothing else, we are dog lovers. And don't tell me you shot a pup because it wasn't used to hunting. Maybe you're not a good teacher.
I actually read her book. I rarely do that. I actually spent the weekend reading her book, and then she bails on me, and all I gotta say is, life's a bitch, but it doesn't mean you can shoot it.
Hide your dog! Hide your goat! Hide all animals! It's Kristi Noem!
We were supposed to have Governor Kristi Noem on the show tonight, but she canceled. Her staff blamed bad weather. We go to some locals for reaction.
What happens if you are debating Kamala Harris and she says, well, wait a second, you shot your dog and you wrote a book about it, bragging about it. How can you be vice president?
It seems, after all, there is a bottom. And Kristi Noem hit it head first, diving off a 10-meter board into an empty pool. I have been involved in American politics for almost 30 years, and I like to think I've seen it all, but that's not true, and the Kristi Noem caper proves it. In order to fully appreciate the total amazingness of Kristi Noem, let's start with Katie Britt. Do you remember her? The Alabama senator playing the role of Stepford wife, delivering the State of the Union? Here's a taste for memory.
She told me not just that she was raped every day, but how many times a day she was raped. The cartels put her on a mattress in a shoebox of a room, and they sent men through that door over and over again for hours and hours on end. We wouldn't be okay with this happening in a third world country. This is the United States of America, and it is past time, in my opinion, that we start acting like it.
Now, the thing about the Katie Britt episode is this. It wasn't the first time that she did that. She rehearsed it probably 100 times. And each time she did it in front of her husband, in a room, in front of her staff, what they all told her through the overacting was, great job, incredible. Oh my God, you are probably going to be the vice president. You'll be the president someday. What I'm trying to share with you is that when Kristi Noem decided to put this in the book, decided to record it, there were scores of people around Kristi Noem who told her that this was a great idea, that it showed how tough she was, how ruthless she could be, how cold, that this story would titillate the erogenous zones of all of the MAGA nation. Instead, it repulsed them, pushed them away. It was a repellent. There is no person, man, woman, at any level of government that so dramatically hit the kaboom button, blowing themselves up in the manner that Kristi Noem did. And here's the question that really is at the heart of the matter. Stuart Varney was right. It is a question of political judgment.
The decision didn't go down well. To include the story about the dog, it's not gone down well. Many people are questioning your political future.
Well, I don't think you have the facts straight. This was a vicious, dangerous dog that was a working dog. And I had to make a choice between the safety of my children and an animal that was killing livestock and attacking people. So it's included because a lot of politicians run from the truth.
Was it a puppy?
They try to hide from tough decisions. It was a very hard decision for me. It was 20 years ago.
Was it a puppy?
No, it was an adult working dog. It was an adult working dog that was attacking livestock.
14 months old?
And killing livestock.
The dog was 14 months old?
It was a year and a half old, the dog was, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Do you think it was good politics to include that story?
That has been a story that's been out there for years, Stuart.
How out of touch, cloistered, do you have to be to possibly believe that the American people would tolerate the shooting of a puppy with a 12-gauge shotgun at a gravel pit by a woman who wants to be in the National Command Authority, wants to live in the vice presidential mansion? Absurd doesn't begin to describe it. Now that we've established that shooting puppies is in fact the bottom of the floor, that there is a standard there at Fox News, we can appreciate that none of this stuff measures up. None of it. So the good news is for MAGA Nation, a boundary has been drawn, a line demarked. You cannot shoot your puppy, but you can attack your country. You cannot shoot your puppy, but you can march with a Confederate flag through the Capitol Rotunda, burning down the peaceful transition of power. No problem. You cannot shoot your puppy, but you can lie to the American people 30,000 times. You cannot shoot your puppy, but you can rape E. Jean Carroll and then defame her. You cannot shoot your puppy, but if you're president, it's okay to talk about shooting black people, aiming for the legs and the knees, like Donald Trump did, asking Bill Barr about how to use the military to attack peaceful protesters in front of the White House. In the end, they settled for a tear gas attack launched on St. John's Episcopal Church, the Church of Presidents.
Press, let's go. Press. Go.
Fox News was afraid to tell an American audience that Donald Trump lost an election. What Fox News has done is incubate a lie. That's like a pancreatic cancer on our democracy that is deforming it, eating it, destroying it, liquefying it. Because democracy is faith and belief in each other. and the ability to settle differences peacefully, with respect, as friends, as patriots, as countrymen and women. Tolerance is at the foundation of democracy. The idea that you can accommodate somebody else's viewpoint, shaped by their unique experiences, that their perspective matters, even if it's different from yours, and can, in the end, united in agreement about some core values and ideas, can you reach compromise? Can you partner to get things done in the name of the public good? That's what all of this is supposed to be about. All of this has been desecrated for money, for ratings, by ambitious, nihilistic people who will say anything or do anything. So remember this. When you see the people attacking the woman who shot the puppy, those are the people who proverbially shot their country in the head. They shot their country in the head because they got behind a fascist cause. They got behind this man. And when he said this, they didn't object.
But you also had people that were very fine people on both sides.
And when he said this, they didn't object.
Proud Boys, stand back and stand by.
And when he said this,
I could stand in the middle of Fifth Avenue and shoot somebody and I wouldn't lose any voters, okay? It's like incredible.
not a peep. Total silence. In line, get behind, stay in line. That's Fox News. The hard news anchor, Bret Baier, terrified of his Fox News audience. A man so cowardly that from the safety of an anchor set and a salary in the tens of millions of dollars a year, he was afraid of people sitting in their living rooms, afraid to tell them the truth. And now these people, this collective, they stand in judgment of Kristi Noem. Well, we all do. But the point is, all of us, most of us, are better people than her. But none of them are. They're all the same people. And they're a despicable lot. They've hurt this country in innumerable ways. And so we should appreciate about Kristi Noem and be grateful to Kristi Noem for is she's the person 9 years into this insanity and madness who finally set the floor. There is no more search for the great mystery of where the floor is in the MAGA era. This is it. You cannot shoot the puppy, but you can burn down the country. And that's the problem we have in America. We are hostages to our own stupidity. We have become captives to our lowest politicians. This is the warning. 179 days to go. I'm Steve Schmidt. This is The Warning, and I invite you to subscribe on our Substack, on our YouTube channel. Follow us. Welcome to the community.